Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So this is a look back at all 25 days of Christmas tutorials. So as you can see here, we have the entirety of the collection of 25 vehicles. I mean, there are a few extra because I did do like 2 Cobras in one video and also the Banished Chopper and Ghost, so that counts as one as well. But overall, we have 25 tutorials here, and I counted, and I'm 99% sure I got them all in here. It was quite hard to find space for all of them because I do have that little village over there and also this mess of a like lake thing here, which I will sort out for next year's 25 days. I do plan to do another 25 days of tutorials next year because you guys have quite liked it. Although if I end up not doing it, then I will let you know. So I'm just going to go through all the tutorials we've done, sort of in order. I think I might not look at them exactly in the right order, but we'll have a look. You can definitely see which ones were the big, difficult ones because they are a lot bigger in general size. We actually did 3 fire-base buildings, which really, I don't know what the word is, but I only did like 2 of them before that, and those were spread over about like 3 months. So 3 in 1 month is pretty insane. So we started with the speeder bike, the original Star Wars trilogy. Let me just turn my render down to 16. Normally keep it on that. The original trilogy speeder bike. So yeah, this one was a small one. Then we did the land speeder, which is here. One thing I want to say is there was a little fix with this that I didn't actually do in the video, and that was where the trapdoors were. I just replaced those with signs and also put a sign on the front, and it just looked a little bit better than the one in the video. It's a little bit early to making corrections to builds, but you know, I didn't really like it with the trapdoors. After that, we did the bark speeder, and then we did I think we did the stap after that. Not sure what came after those, but we also did the A-wing in between the land speeder and the bark speeder. So yeah, the A-wing is probably one of my favourite vehicles, and just to say this now, I will be making a RZ2 A-wing, which is the new version that was seen in The Force Awakens. It's got kind of like the profile on this one is it's kind of like a gradient here, a sort of equal gradient all the way down, and then it gets a bit longer on the front. With the new version, it's pretty similar to this one. I think the color scheme is inverted, and instead of the gradient going from here and then long length here, it goes kind of long length here, and then it kind of oh wait, no, am I doing it the wrong way around? But no, it's a lot thinner is what I'm trying to say. It's kind of like looks a lot sleeker in general. So yeah, and one thing I love about the A-wing is the engines. The engines came out super well compared to the old ones. So yeah, but anyway, the A-wing, one of my favorites. Then we have just a few more small ones really, and then we have the bubble ship, which was from the movie Oblivion with Tom Cruise. Pretty fun little build actually, and I like it. I think it's relatively in scale with the it's AH6, sorry, the AH6 little bird. Relatively in scale. I don't think it's perfect, but it's close-ish. So yeah, these two don't have any set scale. The Star Wars ones do, and the Halo ones also don't have a set scale either. So once I've gone through all the Christmas buildings and tutorials, then I will look at some new builds that I've got coming up. I think I did that briefly at the end of the Falcon video, or at the start maybe, I can't remember. But yeah. Some other of my favourites from this little series, the Vulture Droid is probably one of my new favourite little crafts, and I will be doing the Hyena Droid from Battlefront 2. I've just bought Battlefront 2, and I've been playing not too much of it, but a bit of it, and yeah, I like all the like vehicles from the Clone Wars that actually were introduced, like the Hyena Droid. That was strange to see, and the Clone Wars Y-Wing as well. So yeah, those two are going to be done. The Y-Wings are a lot bigger than I expected, so that applies to both the usual one and also the Clone Wars one. They are like a really big ship actually. Also, I'm starting on a B-Wing as well, so yeah. Other favourite builds of mine from this one, I do like the Jedi Starfighter. I do have a new one of that lined up, and I'll show you that at the end of this. I like the Naboo Starfighter a lot. and I do like the Cobra as well. So yeah, we have these fire-based buildings. We have the vehicle depot, we have the field armory, and we have the supply pad and data as 2 separate tutorials. I think out of these 3, my favourite looking one is probably the field armory. But I also do like the data a lot as a singular vehicle. I hope you like the new thumbnails, and I think the Millennium Falcon thumbnail was probably one of the most fun thumbnails to make. The backdrop for it was just really nice, and yeah, it just looks like a really good thumbnail. If you like the Falcon video, please give that one a share. That tutorial took absolutely ages, and oh yeah, another thing I was going to mention was the Falcon tutorial is actually uploaded for me on the 26th, so you know, a bit late. For some of you in the States, it might have uploaded on time, but for me it was a bit late, and for anyone else in a similar time zone to me, it will have been late, so I'm sorry about that. It was just, it couldn't have been helped, really. I mean, I started like rendering it and stuff early in the morning, like about 8 a.m. And then I went and did my usual stuff, like got breakfast and stuff. And then I came back, and it was taking about 5 hours in total to render, which took us to about 3 o'clock. And I also had to cancel the render once because it refused to finish the rendering, so I had to redo it all again. And then by that point it was about 5 p.m. and then I started uploading, and it just didn't upload on time. It was uploading for at least 7 hours. It may have been to do with the fact that I was trying to install Battlefront at the same time, but I'm not sure. Anyway, I guess following on from this, I guess we'll just have a look at the new Star Wars stuff. One thing I do want to mention is that in the Millennium Falcon video, because of the fact that the kind of upload would have been a lot later than it should have been, I did actually miss a bit out, and you might be confused about what that was. It was actually the landing ramp. So in the tutorial, actually, I got to about here, and then the rest of it was cut off. Now, it is pretty simple to do the rest of the ramp. Basically, once you've got the top slabs, you just follow that pattern all the way until it hits the ground, really. And then you just add some stairs on the side, like that. And then some cobblestone walls to connect it to the roof, and that's pretty much it, really. That's all that's missed out. I know it is still part of the tutorial, and it was bad of me for missing it out, but still, it was just kind of one of those things. It was just the clip got corrupted, and I didn't have time to re-record it, so that's why it was left out, really. But yeah, apart from that, let's move on to have a look at some of the Star Wars stuff coming in 2018. Okay, so before we start on the 2018 builds that are coming, I want to just first of all address something that's pretty strange. These are the only 3 vehicles left over that haven't been remade in 2:1 form, and once these are done, that'll be it. All the original Star Wars vehicles that I did will have been gone. As you can see from these like dirt marks here, that's where all the original vehicles were. So yeah, every single vehicle that was produced before the 2:1 series is now limited to these 3, and everything else is now new. So we're going to start off in this bottom left hand corner, go across the first row, then across the second row, then across the Rebel row, and then across the Imperials. And we do have one more thing, but it's not a build that really matters because it's going to be redone anyway. So this is the this is kind of like a 2 section thing. We got the Jedi Starfighter and Hyperspace Ring, whatever you call it. I'm not really entirely sure what the name is, but yeah. So I guess I'll probably do the Starfighter as one tutorial, and then also do the Ring as a separate one. May do them 2 in 1, like a Banish, Ghost and Chopper or whatever, like I've done before. But I'm not always a huge fan of doing 2 in 1 builds, so I'm not sure about that. So yeah, you got those 2, and you can put the Astromech socket on the wing or on the body. It doesn't really matter because it's very simple to modify that. We have the Naboo Flash Speeder. Now, one thing about this one is the measurements are pretty weird. The ones I saw on Wikipedia list it to be a lot smaller than this when it comes to 2:1 scale. However, there was sort of like a I think a width was measured on there, but then when whenever I tried to do the length that it specified with that specific width, it would not work at all. It was just too short, and yeah, it was just too short and stubby. But then the Legends one, I also looked, because that was the Canon one that I was looking at before. I looked on the Legends measurement, and the craft was way too big when I used the Legends length. So I kind of settled for something in between, and I think that's worked out perfectly. Really, it looks fine. Then we have the we don't need to look at these. We've already done these 4. Sorry. We have the V-wing. So I'm still finalizing this build, but this is pretty much what it's going to be. I like the V-wing in Battlefront 2. It's quite a nice little sturdy ship. Naboo Starfighter we've already done. Then we have the Z-95 Headhunter, which is actually one of my favourite looking ships out of this entire row. It was really fun to build it as well, so that's good. And it uses a similar colour scheme to the ARC 170, which I'll come to now. So this one is, it sort of looks a lot similar, very similar to the original one that I did. Not too long ago actually, but it is a lot bigger. Now, one thing with this one, kind of same with the Flash Speeder, the measurements in Canon were way too short for the wingspan, compared to the length anyway. So it basically had it so that the body was quite long, and because of how long the body was, obviously it had to have some thickness, and that ended up being 7 blocks wide. And then for the wings, I think it came up to about here for the wings, which just did not work out good at all. As you can see from the engine point there to there, that's not a good wingspan. So yeah, I did extend that out a bit more than it was listed as on Wikipedia, but I think it looks pretty perfect to me here. Other things with this one, I mean, the wings are a lot better. The only thing I've got left to do is add some of the sandstone colouring to it. So yeah, and that applies with a few other builds on this row as well. We have the new ATTE, which I never actually did the original of. This one's a bit smaller, it's a bit lower to the ground, but it just looks a lot better really. And it uses a sort of different colour scheme using that light grey concrete. The Clone Wars Y-Wing is not finished yet, but you can see what I'm doing with this. So I did use the actual original Y-Wing as sort of a basis, and then I just cleared out the entirety of like everything past the front of it, and then back to the engines, and then I just filled in the engines, gave them a few details, and then basically left the body completely empty and just redid that. But as for the measurements, it's exactly the same length as the original, so you can tell it's based off the same ship. Sorry, the original's there, actually. I was looking over there. Then we have the V19 Torrent, I think it's called. This one's mostly finished. I think I still have to add a bit more sandstone to it. But yeah, apart from that, this one's just a nice little ship. This is the in-flight version, and I don't think I'm going to do the landed version. It really is a very different build. And if I do that eventually, if you guys want it, it's just not that popular of a ship, really. It's not very well known. Then we have the new Republic gunship. This one is mostly done, just got to add some colours to it, like sandstone and also a bit of, let's see, diorite. So yeah. Now let's go back to the Separatist side. So let me just clear my inventory actually first. It's getting annoying. I guess we'll go this way this time. So yeah, the new homing spider droid. The main differences are the legs are a lot more detailed. Before it was just cobblestone walls all the way up. Now we have a few different thicknesses, which is nice. The joints to the legs are a bit more detailed, especially towards the to the edge. And the main body itself is actually quite a bit bigger. With the old one, the body was quite small compared to the actual legs, which was a bit annoying. Past that, we have the Magna Guard Starfighter, which is pretty early stages. I've got to finish off some detailing and also add some colouring into it, so it's just ignore that one. We have General Grievous the Starfighter here. Oh, sorry, General Grievous. I don't know why I put an I in there. General Grievous Starfighter, and it's pretty nice. It's a lot smaller than I expected it to be from the measurements compared to other ships. So, yeah, I think I'm getting a cold, which is going to be annoying for recording. But yeah, it's a nice looking ship, really. It definitely has a lot of detail for the size. Then we have the Sheathipede class shuttle, which is a lot bigger than I thought it would be, actually. And yeah, this one's just a nice all-around build. Still got to add a few more colours into it, but yeah, apart from that, it's pretty much done. Vulture Droid, we've already done that. AAT, this one's just a lot more detailed compared to the last one, and it's better in shape as well. It leans back a lot more, which it's meant to, and it looks a lot like its Battlefront 2 counterpart, and just a lot more detailed overall. We have the Corporate Alliance Tank Droid, which is a lot bigger than I thought it would be. Definitely. One weird thing actually, in Battlefront 2 I was playing on Kashyyyk, and there's loads of these crashed on the beach, and I was flying around in a Vulture Droid, and there was just a load of destroyed tank droids just floating in the air. They were all facing the same direction and everything, but yeah, it's just weird. From that we also have STAP, we've already done the Tri-Droid, or Tri-Fighter, sorry, which is nice. I think it is a droid actually, so yeah. That's in Battlefront 2 as well, and then the droid gunship as well. Okay, so starting off the Rebel ships, I'm working on a B-wing here. Obviously, it's nowhere near finished. I've literally just done a prototype for the cockpit. We have the Land Speeder, which was already done. The A-wing, we've already done. The X-wing, this is sort of like the ultimate X-wing to me, because it's just so much better than the old one. And I saw someone recently, like a few days ago, comment on the old X-wing video, and they were like, "Oh my god, this is the best X-wing I've ever seen," and I love it. But then I'd made this one already, and I'm like, no, well, there will be a new one, so yeah. But yeah, to that guy, there is this new one to do as well, so yeah. Also, I'm not entirely sure whether to stick with the all-white colour scheme or go with a white and grey. You can see that I'm still debating that, because I literally just changed a few blocks there during the video. The Falcon we've already done, thankfully, which, you know, that's a lot off our plate. The Y-Wing still got to do this one, but it's still relevant as a build. The detail on the body is just insane for that one. I'd say it's more difficult than the Falcon, but the thing is, the Falcon was detailed all around, as you can see, whereas this one is just for the like a smaller area, really. The Sand Speeder, I don't know if we're actually going to do that, because I don't think it's canon. So yeah. And then we have the Ghost, which is pretty much the same as it was last time we looked at it. It's just colour scheme changes and a few build changes, really. But I will go back and sort of, not redo it, but I will give it an update and a refurb. And then over to the Imperials. So the Falcon's so big it covers over 2 rows, as you can see. It goes past the Imperial row. We have the TIE Fighter, which we haven't done yet, I don't think. Then TIE Advanced X1, and then the Interceptor and the Bomber. All nice builds. I'm still going to do the Striker and stuff. I know I never did the Striker in the original wave of TIE Fighters, but yeah, I will. The ATDP, and we've done the ATST, so yeah. The new AT-80 is probably going to be a while, because this one is not too long after the actual first AT-80 I did, so yeah. Then we have the Slave one, landed and in flight. Now, I think quite a few people said in flight for the first one, so I will work on that one first and then do that one afterwards. And that's going to do it, I think. So, other builds that I will be starting on, you can see that by the purple markings, are the Zeta-class shuttle. That's the one seen in Rogue One. And also, I will be doing one that won't be tutorialed, I don't think, but that will be the, I think it's Eta-class shuttle, which is literally this, but like about 10 times as long. So you can see how long this one is already, so I won't be doing the bigger one, but that will be something that's included just for show. Over here is going to be the Scimitar, I think. Yeah. And over there, that's the purple markings for the B-Wing. So yeah, and that's basically it. The last thing over here is the markings for Kylo Ren's TIE Silencer, and also an early version of the Ski Speeder before we had any official images of it. So this one's a bit too yellow. It will be redone in the actual colour scheme. But yeah, guys, that's going to be everything for Star Wars. So the only other thing I think is Halo. And as for Halo builds, there's not much new. However, there is the... actually, I'll just show you. So you might remember I originally did a video showcasing a map. I can't remember what it was called. Epsilon, I think. And it was an adventure map based kind of on Combat Evolved's snow missions. And yeah, I lost the map, but then I tried to redo it, and that wasn't a very good redo. So now I'm working on an entirely new map, but based heavily on the original one. So we're in kind of the starting area at the minute. That's what I was working on, which is over here. You start basically here, and as you can see, if you remember the original map, you can. I might link the original video in the description for the showcase of the map. But yeah, this is very, very similar to what happened in that one. Just set up a little bit different. So yeah, it's kind of like a puzzle map more than a fighting map. I don't think there is much fighting. There won't be mobs. There may be boss battles if I can find a way to actually do that. But yeah, just something I'm working on. But it does include quite a few new vehicle designs. So let me quickly fly up here. We've got a new Combat Evolved exclusive Banshee. So this one uses a completely different color scheme and build. However, the build I think will be reused for the Halo 2 and 3 ones. However, the Halo Wars one is still the Halo Wars tutorial, I mean, is still actually valid. This one is just exclusive to the first 3 games, and the Halo Wars one is now exclusive to itself rather than being used as a placeholder for Halo Combat Evolved, Halo 2, Halo 3, Halo Wars, Halo 3 ODST, etc, etc. So we now have 2 versions of the Banshee for both of those. So yeah, this one's just, it's quite small, it's quite a small Banshee, and it uses a lot of new techniques that I hadn't used before, like trapdoor usage. So yeah, we also have a new Wraith, which is down here, as you can see, and that's a Combat Evolved exclusive Wraith, so that's good. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I mean, Halo tutorials are slowing down a bit, which is a shame. Someone said basically stop doing Halo and just do completely Star Wars, and that's actually the exact opposite of what I said when I started doing Star Wars. I said I'm going to keep doing Halo, but Star Wars will be a side project, and now it's kind of flipped in a way. I don't even know which series I prefer now, which is a shame. But yeah, guys, anyway, with that, I'll see you in the next one. I hope you enjoy 2018, and thank you for the 25 days of tutorials. See you in a bit. Goodbye.